Well, hello YouTube, how you doing? Not too bad myself, reasonably chill at the moment. I've sort of been trying to get myself back on track. Had a couple of issues in life, but you know, I think we all do, and I mean, as I said, my issues come down to my depression and some things I have to deal with. Anxiety, you know, whether it be anxiety, depression, paranoia, combinations of, especially when you're dealing with the type of conditions that I have. It's not that easy to deal with most of the time. Has its moments where it literally floors you and makes you feel like you're being flung to the ground and you just don't want to do anything, you don't feel like doing anything or inspiring anybody, or you don't feel like doing anything in particular, or you just feel no motivation whatsoever. At the end of it, I'm going to have those moments, and those moments are going to make me feel like shit. On top of that, I'm going to have other moments in my life where it's going to make me feel like shit too, where I've reacted to something because I've been angry or I've been cranky about something and I haven't really thought it through, and I've acted impulsively, which I have done things like that in the past. I don't do it all the time, and percentage of the time and most of the time it ends up being the fact that I'm drunk when most of the time when I do something impulsive. This has always come down to it in most cases. Now, I'm not saying it happens all the time, and you know, I have my moments where I literally feel fine and I'm just great. Then I have other days where I feel cranky and angry and I'm just angry at the fucking world and I want to strangle people. Just those moments. I have those moments, those days, and I do have those weeks where I just feel like nothing but, you know, the feeling of needing to strangle people, or just feeling crappy, or just feeling annoyed, or just being, you know, like you want to rip people's heads off. But, you know, I digress. That changes, that passes, and it goes away. Eventually. It doesn't always go away straight away, but it does eventually start to pass over time. Now, the other side of it too is you do some things, stupid things you regret, especially when you've had a couple of drinks under your belt and you think, okay, why the fuck did I do that? Then sometimes you think, okay, maybe I was justified in some of the things I did, but not every single thing I believe I did was the correct thing when I was drunk. On the other hand, too, you know, inherently because of my condition, some of my worst behaviour comes out when I've had a couple of drinks, admittedly. Then the other side of it too, I mean, you know, I try to be the best possible person I can be, but I'm only human and I make errors. It's like any other side of the spectrum, I'm always going to make errors. You know, everybody makes errors. It doesn't matter who you are or what walk of life you come from. And we're all entitled to a couple of crazy, outlandish things that we do, or we want to do. A couple of crazy, outlandish pieces of crap that we should probably be doing, or we should probably be killing people with, or I don't know. We should just be doing some crazy shit from time to time. I honestly think. Because, you know, just life is crazy. People are crazy. The world's fucking crazy. At the end, I mean, the truth of the situation is that the world is twice as crazy as it should be in some respects. In some respects, it's a muddled up fucking mess of truth, lies, honesty, you know, combinations of and all that. So, but at the end of it, I've come to the conclusion that we all are entitled to errors. We are entitled to few stupid choices in our life. Not saying that, you know, I would say a lot of the time when it comes to knowledge that I actually have in my mind and have obtained over the years, I'd say I'm pretty smart about most things. I have moments where I don't necessarily listen to people, and that's not always a situation that's best or makes me as the best person, but you know. But I'm going to admit, I'm not perfect. I'm not, you know, the most perfect example of a human being. I try to lead by giving people a good example. I try to. Doesn't mean that I always do. I mean, probably 70 to 80% of the time I'll end up doing the right thing. There is that margin of 10 to 20% that I won't. So, you know, scientifically speaking, yeah, there's that margin, that 10 to 20% margin. I'm going to do something stupid or wrong or weird or quirky or outlandish. I admit that. I've done it. It happens. It's just how I am. Now the other side of it is too, we all do stupid things, we all react different ways, we all have emotional spikes, we all rage, we all get that, just that little bit insane on particular days of the week where we're feeling you know, just off our heads with, you know, emotional stresses, levels of anxiety that would, you know, floor a rhino in most cases, and most people would not be able to withstand those levels of anxiety that we have. You know, especially people dealing with depression. I mean, I deal with depression, I deal with schizophrenia, I deal with Asperger's, I deal with a lot of the conditions that I have, and a lot of these conditions don't make for a very, very good situation in most cases. They make for the worst possible situation, they make me feel the worst possible way sometimes, and they make me overthink things. I overthink. I know this. Unfortunately, that's just part of my personality. So I can't avoid it, but I can try and work on clearing it out of my head most of the time. I'm neither perfect, never claimed I was, but you know, at least I can say that I have a reasonably good brain in most cases. I have days where my brain's a little bit, you know, off to the side, but it still manages to do the job that I need to do, and I still manage to do the things that I need to do, whether it be repairing a computer or fixing something else or doing something else that involves being able to do a lot of the stuff I do, whether it's being in front of a camera, you know, to do this type of stuff, or talk about the random subjects that I may talk about, or just, you know, talk about the IT stuff that I do. I've been looking at a lot of different videos on YouTube, which some of the videos I've been going across on, like Thunderfoot and a few other people talking about, you know, extreme Jesus, wow, extreme feminism. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, basically feminists which are totally extreme to the point where, you know, they only see one point of view, which is their point of view, and they're pretty much everything in the world is a male's fault, regardless of whether that male did it or not. It's just all males, it's all about the males, and the males did it and they don't care. Now there's extreme versions of feminism, there's extreme versions of Christianity, there's extreme versions of everything in this freaking world. Religion. There's extremists in every situation, whether it be people who fucking grab a gun, you know, for example, from the NRA, people who are gun mad. You know, you've got the other side of it. This is my point. You can't avoid extremism in some way. It's all out there. It's there to, you know, it hits you in the face pretty much. Catholic extremism. Doesn't matter. There's so many people from so many different walks of life that come into that category. And you know, they can just seem like the most normal people on the surface, but you know, when it gets down to it, they are fanatical about their beliefs or their outlooks. Now, that's going to happen, you know. I mean, we can all sit here and argue that, well, I mean, you can sit here and argue that, yes, it's not the right thing to be extreme as they are, but at the other side of it too, anybody with, you know, a reasonable amount of brain power is going to see these people are extremists. That they're just pushing their agenda, pretty much. And I mean, at the end of it, that's the truth of the situation. If you have enough brain power in your mind to work these things, to work that shit out, then clearly you're intelligent enough. I mean, there's the other side of it too, where you get people who are really easily led. People who are easily sheeped, or the sheeps, as they say. The people who are just easily led by leaders, or, you know, cult leaders and all this other. I mean, whether you got fucking Marilyn Manson, I'm thinking of the fucking singer. Sorry. What's his name? Well, Manson, anyway. My point is, there's so many different people out there, you know, these charismatic charmers, these sociopathic people, these psychopathic people. There are so many different types of these people out there that unfortunately sometimes it's not necessarily easy to tell if they are there. But then you also get the other side of it too, where you get people who get into a position of power and ultimately they abuse their power. They abuse the level that they're at. They abuse the power to the point where it's... basically they feel like they can control everybody if they just say the right words or use the right tone or give the right, you know, outlook. Which is true. I mean, if you know somebody's psychological makeup and you analyse them psychologically, it's not impossible to manipulate them to your requirements. But is it the morally correct thing? No, it's not. Is constantly arguing, battering somebody till they see your point of view the best thing? No. Sometimes you have to leave people to find things out on their own. Or you have to leave people to sort of step back from the situation and think, well, okay, hold on a second, am I looking at this from the wrong angle, sort of thing. Now, at the end of it, the truth of it all is that if you let people do their own self-examination and find things themselves, most of the time people will come to the right conclusion. Most of the time. I'm not saying that all people will, because there are some people, no matter how hard you try to give them the right advice or point them in the right direction, they will not take your advice, they will not listen to you, and they will just do the totally wrong thing and fuck it all up. And there are some people who are fuck-ups too. Just complete fuck-ups, and there's just no word that really covers the spectrum of the dictionary they should be in. But, these people are around, and it happens. So anyway, yeah, it makes me scratch my head in disbelief that there are some people as stupid as they are, but I also believe there's some people who purposely troll others just to see the reaction they'll get out of them. Say, for example, in a particular way, you look at somebody and you think, holy shit, are you actually that stupid? Did you actually do something that dumb in the first place? Did you actually take that line of thought and use it? And you think, fuck me sideways, really? You didn't, people that, I mean, are they that stupid? And then you look at the fact that they might just be actually trolling people. There's people who legitimately troll others just to get a reaction, just to get a spike, just to get attention. Because there's different types of people. People want bad attention or good attention. Most of the time I try to go for good attention, if I can help it. I try to go for good attention. Sometimes I have got bad attention though. It depends on the circumstance and it depends on me, and how I'm feeling. But I mean, look, at the end of it, that's the truth of the situation. You're going to get all these different types of people on those levels. Now, at the end, we do have a lot of people in life who try to get bad attention from others. Negative attention that's going to reflect negatively, like, whether it be fights or whatever, or, wanting to kill them or something like that. There's always going to be people who are going to reflect that and do that. And I mean, the honest truth is, the best thing in most cases is to ignore them. But there are admitted situations where it's hard to ignore them because they're just in your fucking face. Not that easy to ignore them in that case. But, most of the time it helps to ignore them. I found with most things, yeah. But then the other side of it too, you've got people baited, I mean, you bait someone to react to something that you've said or done. I've done that. I admit that I've probably done things like that to some people in my life over the years. Baited them to get a reaction out of them, to see exactly how they come back at me and what their ultimate thought pattern is, because their ultimate emotional outspew is actually what they're really feeling in their own mind, and what they normally end up saying when they're angry at you is normally what they're feeling in a particular situation. So sometimes it's okay to push a little bit and just see what reaction you get out of them. But then, I've had the same situation where somebody's tried to do the exact thing to me, but, I try not to get jealous, but admittedly, I have moments where I have got petty and jealous. I've got annoyed. I've got, I've gone and just fucking been really pissed off with somebody, and I've felt that I've had to get back at them by using a little mental manipulation. I'm not denying that. I think every human being does it to some degree. I don't think we all do it too. I mean, there's some humans that do it to the degree that it's just ridiculous and it's totally overboard. I know my limits on how far I can go with all that stuff. I think, no, okay, I know how far I want to go. I know my limitations. But the other side of it too is you get the other side of human beings that are sort of like, okay, you're thinking to yourself, okay, hold on a second. Why would somebody do this? Why would they do that to another human being? Also, over too, there's some mean pranks that I've seen like people do on YouTube and stuff. And I think, why would you do that to somebody? Honestly, because I mean, I don't know. Like, my reaction would probably be, my reaction would be extreme if somebody claimed they cheated on me or something like that, or something. I mean, I don't know. It might be extreme, then it might not be. I mean, it depends on the situation. I might just walk away from it, but to feel a certain degree of betrayal in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever, to feel like somebody's sort of gone the opposite direction. I mean, sometimes there is an extreme emotional reaction. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Mine would probably not be extreme all the time, but I mean, there's some situations where I'm having a particularly bad day, and if you know, if you expect an emotional reaction, a very mild emotional reaction, I mean, you probably get an extreme one. As I said, it varies. It varies with different people, and I mean, I try my best to control my emotional states because most of the time I don't know exactly which direction they're going. I mean, are they in the right frame of mind? Am I in the right frame of mind? I also think sometimes do I have too much of an extreme reaction? Because I do. I have moments where I overreact, or I react extremely to something because I'm feeling particularly emotionally sensitive at the time. My emotions are high at that particular time, and I'm just feeling really, 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 really like, you know, everything around the world is bothering me. I'm just annoyed with everything in my life. And the other side of it is too, not feeling annoyed enough or feeling numb. And there's the other side of it too. There's sometimes where I don't have enough of an emotional reaction as well, which is where I'm feeling completely numb and feeling like I can't feel anything. Like I have no emotions at all, you know. And that's the thing about it. It's different one day to the next to me. So, you know, sometimes it pays to pick your time, or it pays to pick your moments, and it pays to pick your battles. It also pays to know the person in question, you know how they react. I mean, it's not always easy, especially if somebody's up and down emotion. But if somebody's on a certain level with their emotions, in most cases, most of the time you can analyse it and get to know it pretty well. But look, I digress. You know, these things happen, life happens, shit happens, and the truth is, nothing is absolutely 100% foolproof or perfect, whether it be a plan or otherwise, or, you know, relationship or friendship or anything for that matter. You know, even technology is not foolproof. It's never going to be considered foolproof. So that's something I've personally come to the conclusion that, you know, shit happens. You've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with it directly in some way. So, look, for now I'm just going to leave it there. YouTube, this is my little, oh god, what the hell was this? This is sort of like a combo rant. Not a rant, just a combo on the human psyche, and, you know, especially schizophrenia and my conditions that I have to deal with. I have a lot of emotional shit to deal with, and then I have a lot of shit that I don't feel some days, and then I sometimes do other days. On top of that, depression doesn't, I mean, okay, people say you can't use depression as an excuse, for doing something bad or being bad. I don't think that's necessarily true, because sometimes in the case of depression, it can reflect on your behaviour, and it can reflect how you react to someone. If you're feeling depressed, you're feeling crappy, there's different ways you can react. You can react by trying to hurt yourself, or you can react by trying to hurt others, whether it be emotionally or physically. So at the end of it, the depression, psychosis, things like that, they all relate to that level. Alright? At the end of it, mental conditions can be a reason for somebody reacting badly or somebody doing something that they regret or don't want to do. So at the end of it, you can argue as much as you want that that's not the case, but it's true. It's been scientifically and psychologically proven that this is the case. And, yeah, it's as simple as that. You know, I mean, yeah, it is as simple as that. I mean, to be honest, I think some people seem to think that, you know, they seem to forget that. Some people I've come across in my life, but to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube. Stay tuned for more videos. Obviously, what the frick else have I got? Ooh, Jesus. I don't know what I've got coming up, but I just probably rant on some more videos anyway. I don't want to have a shower, to be honest. And yeah, probably have a shower, relax, maybe talk a bit more on the camera, and, you know, do some more stuff on it, and I'll see. Okay, so what's say? Oh, yes. Subscribe, like, favorite, and subscribe, obviously. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. As well as a thumbs up, you can do, what else can you do? You can thumbs it up, you can comment, you can do all that lovely stuff. You can also subscribe to me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Twitch TV, Instagram. Which my Instagram has really been really empty lately. I haven't really been doing much. Because I haven't really been doing much with technology lately, so to be honest, it's been a little bit quiet because I'm trying to save some funds up, and basically I'm trying to do some of my repairs and stuff and things like that, and I've got to catalogue a few more things, but I just haven't had the chance. See, some days I feel a great level of inspiration and I feel absolutely wonderful and I feel like doing everything in the world, and then other days it's like, fuck you, sort of thing, you know. And I feel like crap and I don't feel like doing anything, or I don't feel like actually, you know, taking the time to record the videos and do the other stuff. But as I said, I exert a lot of effort in different things, and then like sometimes it's like, oh, it's going to fall apart, no, I can't do it today. And then, you know, other days it's like, oh, wow, I have abundance of energy that just blows my mind and makes me feel like I have an entire fucking universe in my head. But yeah, that's only those particular days. As I said, you know, I normally end up wearing myself out on those days. So anyway, thank you very much, YouTube. Catch you at a later date. Probably do some more gaming videos, because now I've got Windows 8.1 back on my computer and I now have a relatively fully functional gaming set. So we'll see how we go. Thank you very much, and thumbs up. And stay tuned for more videos, obviously. Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you. Bye.